What's going on YouTube? YHawkX here, and welcome back for another modding tutorial. Today I thought I'd do a quick video on how to set up mod support for Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3 on your Steam Deck. All of the files that you'll need to follow along in this tutorial will be linked in the description, so feel free to visit there at any time to download what you need. And just to be clear, this will only be covering how to set up mods. This will not be going over anything to do with the randomizer. And with that out of the way, let's get started. The first thing we need to do is download a custom version of ModEngine2. This can be found on Cloudef's GitHub page, and this has been modified to work with Proton. For those unaware, Proton is what the Steam Deck uses to run its games. So on this page, simply scroll down to the very bottom, and you'll find the zip that you need. Just click on this, and it'll start to download. Next, we need to head over to Nexus mods to download the Elden Mod Loader. So on the main page here, just go to the Files tab, and from here, you can click on the manual download button on the file that's at the top. And something to be aware of, I do believe you need an account on Nexus mods in order to download files. It is a pretty simple and straightforward process, just something to be aware of. So once you've got all the files downloaded, we can get started. So I have them both here on my desktop. There's the mod engine file and the mod loader file. So if we go in here, you can see we have a mod engine folder, and inside there, a bunch of other files that we'll need to work with. So for this, I'm actually going to extract this to a new folder on my desktop. And then I'm going to rename this something like ER Steam Deck. Just something that makes sense. Essentially, this is just the folder that we're going to be working out of. So now that I've done that, I'm going to open the mod loader zip, and I'm going to extract everything in here into our ER Steam Deck folder. Just like that. And so there's a little bit of prep work we have to do in this folder. So first, if you go into the mod engine folder, you'll see a mod folder. Go ahead and just drag that up a folder so that it's in your main working folder like this. We are going to be utilizing the mod folder as well as the mods folder. They're both important. Now, go back into your mod engine folder, then the ModEngine2 folder, and finally the bin folder. Here you'll see two DLL files. Go ahead and copy both of those. And then we're going to be going back to our working folder, and we're going to paste both of these into the mods folder, the one with an S at the end. So now that we've done that, now we need to go back into the mod engine folder, and we're going to copy this config_eldenring.toml file. Go back to your working folder, and we're going to paste this in here. And now we're going to rename this to ModEngine.toml. Just like that. And if we open this with a text editor, if we go down to the bottom, you can see right here on this line at the very end, it says path equals mod. This is the folder that you will be putting your mods into. So if you want, you can rename this to anything that you'd like, but for this tutorial, we're just going to keep it exactly the same. Alright, and one more thing we can do, just to make our lives a little easier, is if we go back to the ModEngine2 GitHub page, towards the top, you're going to see this command line right here. This is what we're going to set as a launch option for Elden Ring on Steam Deck, and it's necessary in order for our mods to work. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to copy this line now, and then I'm going to go back to my working folder, and I'm going to create a new text document. And here I'm just going to call it launch. And if we open that up, I'm just going to paste that line in there just like that, and then save it. That's just a quick way for us to copy the command line once we're on our Steam Deck so that we can modify the launch option. It's a lot simpler than trying to open the browser and copy things that way. So now that that's done, we are all set to start copying mods. If you're Not familiar with Nexus mods, I do recommend checking it out. There are a ton of mods here that you can download. So I actually have a custom folder here, and this is something I've set up where I have combined a whole bunch of mods together. Couple things to keep in mind. If you download two mods, for instance, they both have this regulation bin file, those mods by default will not work together. So you'll need to combine the contents of both of those files into one in order for them to be used together. This tutorial is not going to cover that. There are tutorials out there that go into that in greater detail. The other thing to keep in mind is that your files need to be in the same folder structure that they are in the game. So for instance, I downloaded these files right here, which modifies Ronnie the Witch's model in the game. And when I did that, they were just loose like this. They were not in a CHR folder. So if I would just put those in the mod folder over here, they would not work. They have to be in the CHR folder for them to work. So with that out of the way, I'm going to take everything here and I'm just going to copy it to my mod folder. And now this is all set up to run mods on Elden Ring. So I'm going to put these on a thumb drive and then switch over to the Steam Deck. I'll see you guys over there. Alright, so once you get over to your Steam Deck, the first thing you're going to want to do is boot into desktop mode. You can do this by holding down the power button and choosing the switch to desktop option that appears at the bottom of the menu. I'll throw a picture of that menu up on the screen right now so you can get a good idea of what I'm talking about. Once you're in desktop mode, the first thing we want to do is copy all of the files we set up over to Elden Ring's main install folder. The easiest way to find the install folder is to simply go and open Steam by double-clicking the icon that should be at the top left corner of your screen. Once there, find Elden Ring, and if you right-click it and scroll down to Manage and then Browse Local Files. Once you click that, you will be greeted with Elden Ring's install directory. Now what we want to do is go into the game folder. This is where we want to copy all of the files that we set up. So go ahead and plug in your USB drive. A window should pop up where you can now mount it, which will open it in a separate folder. Now go into your ER Steam Deck folder, select all of the files we set up, right-click, copy. Now switch back to the game install folder for Elden Ring, right-click, and paste everything in here. It may take a bit depending on how many mods you're copying over, but just be patient and wait for it to finish. Once everything's copied over, go ahead and scroll down to the launch.txt file we created earlier. Double click on it to open it, then highlight everything that's there, right click and copy. We're going to use this as our launch option for Elden Ring, so go ahead and go back to Steam, find Elden Ring, right click on it and go down to Properties. Go down to the launch options section at the bottom of this menu, place your cursor, then right click and paste the command we copied earlier. This command does a couple of things. First, it skips over the startprotectedgame.exe and goes straight to the Elden Ring exe. This is useful as it'll help players avoid getting banned for using mods. The other thing it does is load the DLL file needed to activate our mods. Now, as an extra level of protection, let's do one more thing before finishing up. Go back to your Elden Ring install folder and rename the startprotectedgame.exe to startprotectedgame.bak. Once you've done this, go up to the eldenring.exe, right-click on it, and select Copy. Now what you want to do is right-click into the folder and select Paste. This will bring up a new window where you can rename the file. Now what you want to do is rename it to startprotectedgame.exe. This is just an extra level of protection to help us avoid getting soft banned in the game. And with that, we're finally finished. Now let's start up Elden Ring and confirm that our mods are working. You will get a message about inappropriate activity detected, as well as a message that it's starting the game in offline mode. This is completely normal. Just go ahead and accept through everything and start your game. Unfortunately, my game is extremely laggy due to running OBS to record this. As you can see though, I do have Guts' Berserk armor equipped on my character, confirming that mods are indeed working. And with that, congratulations on getting mods working for Elden Ring on your Steam Deck. Well, I hope you found this tutorial useful. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and let me know, would you like to see more Steam Deck videos in the future? Thank you for watching, everyone. Take care.